It's a blessing to welcome on one of the stars of this past year's Drake team. He became one of the sensations of the past NCAA tournament, and now the newest Kansas Jayhawk, Joseph Yesufu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Absolutely, man. Well, this has been a crazy journey. You blew up this past year now, and you put your name in the portal. You're already out of it. You're going to Kansas. How you feeling right now?
I feel great. I'm very excited to get started in June.
Now, walk us through this a little bit because this is a big program. You're a blue blood now. You have a opportunity and most likely chance to be the starting point guard of KU. How does this all come to be?
Honestly, it feels like a dream. I've been dreaming about this since I was a little kid. I've been watching basketball since I was a little kid, people in the tournament and all that. And I watched Bill Self, Coach Self now. It still feels unreal. But I'm just very, very excited to be coached by him. And I can't wait to get started with him.
Well, I want KU fans to get to know you a little bit better, so we can kind of go back a little bit. You grew up out there in Illinois, or Bolingbrook to be exact, but kind of take us to like what was it like growing up out there?
It was very peaceful. I can't complain. It wasn't like the city life.
Mhm.
I feel like Bolingbrook is a great area to grow up in, great area to be. We have basically everything here, and the schools I went to, Oakview, Jane Addams, Bolingbrook High School, those schools really helped me mold me to the man I am today.
Now, we do know you decided to go out to that local high school and you spend 4 years out there, which is kind of rare for a lot of guys. Guys that are Division I guys sometimes like to move around, go to different high schools. You stay loyal though. You choose one school your whole career. What went into that decision and why did you originally choose to attend there?
My coach Bros, I've known him for years. He coached my brother as well. Um, I just love it. I love Bolingbrook High School. The teachers there, the administrators, the coaching staff, like they're really good people, and I wanted to be surrounded by great people. So that's what went into my decision. Also, the basketball program, you can't beat it. So
Growing up out in that area, though, we do know that's really one of the more meccas of basketball. A lot of talents found in the Chicago, Illinois area. What was it like just being a part of that and kind of grow up in that environment?
it's a blessing. I've seen guys like Jabari Parker, the Tyler Eulis, Kendrick Nunn, Jaleel Okafor, all those guys. Those guys are people I really looked up to and people I just wanted to reach. Like I wanted to get to their level and even surpass them. So I take pride, and I'm sure we all do take pride in where we're from.
There are a lot of options you can kind of choose from this next question, but you look through your career out there playing, you've went up against multiple big time guys that are NBA stars, college stars, and whatnot. Who would you personally say that has been like that favorite guy, or maybe a couple guys that you really enjoyed matching up against?
To be honest, I enjoy matching up with Marquise Jacobs. He goes to the Paul. He really brought out the best in me. Caleb Thornton,
Mm.
um, and Tyler Cochran. Um, who else? Um, it's not. It's probably the three that they bring out the best in me.
Go a little bit deeper into Tyler because you guys spend your whole career together out there, and you guys you accomplished a lot throughout your career playing there. How did you guys bond, grow though, and when did you guys first originally meet each other?
We met in AAU when we were in middle school, and we matched up against each other a lot. But our relationship really started when our middle school team used to always go against each other. My eighth grade year, it was back and forth, but the first time they blew us out, so I mean I had to get revenge. So in the playoffs, we thankfully knocked them out, and then it just kicked off ever since. We got in contact with each other and really bonded from there.
So how did you guys decide to team up? Was that something that just happened? You guys saw each other first day at school. You guys kind of recruiting, talking to each other, saying, "Hey, let's team up here." Like, how did you guys come to form a duo there?
It was a combination of everything. I've been wanting to play with him like since like I was about to go to their middle school,
Mhm.
but I decided not to because I want to stay at Jane Addams. But like it was a combination of everything. We just wanted to play with each other because we saw the greatness in each other, and we wanted to push each other to be the best that we could be.
We know that in that environment out there, it's hard because there's so much talent that to really create a name for yourself and become a big time player. But you end up walking away, which we'll talk about a little bit later, senior year, winning Herald News Player of the Year. You get all these accomplishments. How are you able to rise above that and become a guy that was well known within the city and within that area?
Um, I rose above it. Like those awards didn't mean anything to me. I knew that I had to keep on working. Obviously, it was a blessing getting those awards, and I was very, very excited. But I knew it was a lot more work to do. That high school wasn't going to take me to college, and college was going to take me to the league. So that really pumped me up and let me know that I had to continue working on my craft and working on my game.
When you look back at all your games you play out there, is there like one moment or one game specifically that you would say is probably your favorite one?
Um, Going to state my sophomore year of high school.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, we lost to Simeon when they had Taylor Horton, Tucker, have Evan Gilliard and all them.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was probably my best, probably the most fun moment I've had.
You step out on that court and now you see obviously we know who Taylor Horton Tucker is out there for the Lakers and we see his talent, but what was like going up against the guy back when he was in high school, you're matching up against him. Take us to that game a little bit.
He was he was a very tough. I saw league in him from the moment I saw him, but that wasn't the first time I played. And I played him in AAU, and I could just really tell that he really was working on his game. He had a smooth game, and it really showed against Simeon when we played Simeon. He had like 25, 25
Mhm.
plus on us, so he really went to work on us, and I saw the potential right away.
There's one thing about Chicago players, and that's that you guys have a unique mindset. You guys have that dog mentality in you guys where obviously you guys have that kind of dog mentality. So what kind of explain that to us a little bit? Like how is that ingrained in you and how did you get that?
The dog mentality, we just want to be the best.
Hmm.
We feel like we are the best, and we just got to prove it to everybody. Um, like a lot of people, we don't have it as easy because I feel like a lot of us are overlooked. So that just keeps us going because we are so destined to make it and prove everybody wrong.
I want to backtrack a little bit. When you first walk into high school as a freshman, you're heading into school, you haven't achieved anything yet. Could you have imagined yourself originally just becoming a Division I player and becoming a player of the year candidate for high school? But then could you even imagine you being a guy that starts at Kansas or is a member of the Kansas Jayhawks?
To be honest, looking back on it, no. I knew I would like my dream's always been to get to the NBA,
Hmm.
and having that in my reach is unreal. Like when I was younger, I didn't think like I would actually be at a blue blood. Obviously, it was my dream because I feel like that's the top level and where I was gonna have a target on our backs. But it was is not. I did not think I would be here getting all the accolades and all of that. And I'm just very happy, and I know that I'm blessed for it.
Growing up, who was that team? Like, was there a team that your family kind of loved watching? Like, if they're on TV, you're gonna be watching. Like, was there kind of like that dream school growing up for you?
My dream school was Kansas, and honestly, Kansas and Kentucky. I love those teams. I love Calipari. I love Coach Self. Um, my brothers was UConn, and they had Coach Calhoun.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, she was a Mizzou fan because she went there, so she, had to pick there. And then my mom, she didn't really have a team. She just kind of went with who she liked. Who, yeah. So,
That's something a little different because you just said that pretty much your whole family is a different team that you guys kind of rooted for. What was that
yeah.
like?
It was definitely arguments, uh, like when the tournament was going on.
Hmm.
So we kind of just got used to it. And then since I'm going to Kansas, my sister is upset because she went to
Hmm.
Missouri, and it was a rival. So I've definitely heard it a lot from her.
Hmm. This is going a little bit in advance now, fast forwarding, but we know you are going to KU. So when Self first started reaching out to you, I know you had a lot of schools on the table for yourself, but when you first got that call from Self, what was going through your mind?
So I got Coach Self's call on Thursday, so a day after I entered the portal. When he like I got a Kansas number on my phone. I'm like, who is this?
Hmm.
So I answer, and then he said, "Hello, this is a Coach Self." And then like like it was very shocking, but it's a very memorable moment. I was just happy, and that he was out of all people was talking to me. And I was just very grateful. So that was definitely a great experience.
That's the crazy thing about the portal because you never know who's going to call you. Some guys might unfortunately not get really too many calls whatsoever. Others will blow up and have calls from all over the country, especially even like in your case now, Blue like KU. Were you expecting a KU to come in, or what kind of schools were you originally expecting to probably reach out to you?
Honestly, I did not think Kansas would reach out. That was the last school I thought would reach out.
Mhm.
But I expected to get like high major offers. I expected that. Uh, but the ones I got, like even the ones that I got, like I thought they would be the last one to text me. So I would, yeah, like a lot of schools were unexpected.
Mhm. When you first started talking to yourself and you officially extends the offer to you saying, "Hey, we want you on this team. You're welcome on this team if you want it." Was that automatically in your mind saying, "Okay, I'm going to KU," or did you kind of still keep it open to other schools for a little bit, or how'd that work for you?
I was very open. I wanted to listen to what every coach had planned for me, what they wanted me to bring to the table.
Hmm.
Um, when I got obviously when I got the Kansas offer, it was I was very grateful,
Hmm.
but I knew that I would had to make the best decision for me and my family, and I felt like Kansas was that team.
We'll get back into KU in a little bit, but I said you continue with the high school journey, and then you become a senior, and you get, like I said, always awards, always accolades for yourself. But looking back at that, like, when you just talk about your entire career, would you say you were successful? Was that something that you kind of expected for yourself? Were you expecting a little bit more? Like, how would you grade your high school years?
Honestly, I should have took advantage more.
Hmm.
I feel like I should have worked a lot harder, even though I feel like I worked hard, but
Hmm.
I could should have kept pushing myself to be better. Um, I feel like it was successful to a certain extent because obviously I expect more out of myself, and I'm probably the hardest person on myself than any other person.
Hmm.
But high school, I feel like everything has for a reason. Obviously, like I wasn't rated, I wasn't ranked, none of that. But that really made me work harder. So I feel like that happened for a reason. And obviously, I wasn't ready for that level. So I feel like God put me at the right school at the right time.
And when you're going through that process, like you said, you mean you weren't ranked. There was no really offers, not too many offers on the table, like especially big offers. You get this offer in Drake that comes in, and today people might know Drake a little bit better because you're run, because being a tournament this past year. But when you got that offer 3 years ago, Drake was not really known in school. We know that just no one really knew who Drake was at the time. So what did you originally expect for Drake? Like, what was your thoughts on Drake, and why was Drake ultimately the school you chose?
Drake, they have a wonderful coaching staff, Coach
Hmm.
DeVries, Coach Richter, Coach Gadens, and Coach Willie that went to Wake Forest, and Coach Blunt. Those are really good guys. When I went on the official visit, like I just felt like this was a school for me. They really made me feel at home, and I'm very grateful for them. They made me a better player. Going through like freshman year was tough for me.
Hmm.
Coming in over the summer, it was really a hard time adjusting, but they really made that process a lot easier, and I'm very grateful. They made me a better player and a better man. Like I went through that adversity my freshman year, but I needed that, and they were there for me constantly. So I'm always be grateful for them, and I have so much respect for them.
Ultimately, like you said, it is God's path, and it clearly worked out great for you. But it had to be hard though, going through high school, saying, "Okay, I see these rankings coming in. I'm not there. No one's really giving me the recognition I probably deserve. I'm not getting the dream offers. I'm not getting those offers I wish I had." What was your thoughts on like how did you kind of take that in?
Honestly, it was definitely hard,
Hmm.
but it got to a point where I just stopped looking at it and just let my game do the talking. Obviously, I had to keep working. So until I got those offers that I wanted. But obviously, I wasn't meant to shine and like that in high school. And
Hmm.
that I feel like that is what built me into the person I am today. Because I feel like I'm constantly working and constantly pushing. So that really helped me and benefited me at the end.
I've got to ask you about this too, because we know you're not the tallest guard out there. You're not the quickest. You're not the most athletic guard. But you clearly just went out there and we saw how dominant you can be. We'll touch up on a little bit how dominant you are capable of being. How have you been able to do this? Because like I said, you don't really have anything that's like super out of the ordinary. It's nothing like generational special out of you in terms of attributes. How have you been able to work through that and just become so scaled and so dominant in that aspect?
Developing my game. I pay attention to little aspects. Also, I watched a lot of Derrick Rose.
Mhm.
That's my favorite player. So I watched his flow game, and like I've been working on my floater since like my middle school. I know I need to have a dominant floating game because guys gonna be 7 feet, and I can't usually lay it up in front of them. So um, it's definitely obviously it's been tough being the a small guard, but I feel like I'm happy. I'm happy to be small. I take pride in that.
Mhm. But you are still somewhat athletic. We obviously saw the dunk you threw down in the playoff games against Wichita State. When did that start coming into play? Was that something you had during high school? Was it just something that came into you during college? Like when you start getting that little bit of bounce?
I've always had it. Like my first dunk was probably I think seventh grade.
Oh, really?
So I've always had it. I had it in high school too,
Mhm.
and it just is showing now in at Drake. Well, it showed now at Drake.
So you get on campus then, as a freshman, like you said, you have to miss the first 9 games due to an injury. Then you play some games and you have to end up shut down for the year after February when you re-injure it. How do those build you up? Because there are some guys that can look at injury and say, okay, it sucks, you'd rather be on the court, but you can also take other things. You kind of learn from the injury too. How would you say it grew you because you had to deal with those injuries?
Honestly, it all came down to my family. Um, I've realized that I truly have to take care of my body to play at this level. So that made me start eating right, nutrition, like stretching. Stretching was a big thing for me because I don't like stretching even still to this day, but I know that's a necessity. It really taught me how to take care of my body and how much I should be grateful for even playing the game. A lot of people, they don't see that until it's taken away from them, and it really showed me how blessed I am to be in this position that I am in my life.
I want to go a little bit deeper into Coach DeVries because he's like obviously an incredible coach. He's someone that just got a big extension, deservingly, and he's a guy I think easily be a coach that is coaching at the even higher level someday in the future. But what's he like just off the court though? Because we see him as a coach, we see how excellent he is with the X's and O's and getting you guys to play together. But what's his personality like off the court?
He's a great person to be around. Like he's invited us the team to his house multiple times. He's just all around a great dude. I loved playing for him. I love my time over there. He really made me feel welcome in the program. But most importantly, he pushed me to be better. He saw from the start the potential I had because a lot of people didn't see that, and I'm thankful that he saw it and took a gambled on me. So he's definitely I love Coach DeVries.
We always know that as a freshman, there's a lot of time you get some of the upperclassmen that kind of mentor you to a degree. Who are some of those guys? Like, was there someone that kind of took you under the wing and helped mentor you throughout your freshman year?
It was two people, Roman Penn and DJ Wilkins. Obviously, they saw that I was struggling last year, but they really gave me that confidence and helped me know that I was going to get through it, and that they had experienced it too. Like I wasn't the only one, and they just mentored me, and to this day they still mentor me. They helped me through the process as well when I entered the portal, and it just really showed how much they really care about me, even though I left. But it just shows their character and the people they are.
It's crazy when you look at that because you have yourself there, you have DJ, you have Roman, all three guards, and you're going to be starting out most likely at KU next year. I think both those guys could be high major starters too. But to have those two type of guards in a locker room playing together, how special was that guard group?
Huh? Practice, that was really a tough time. Yeah, there'd be certain practice that Roman is killing,
Mhm.
uh, certain practice DJ killing, and be certain practice and I'm killing. They really made me a better player. going against them every day, night in and night out. Um, it was very competitive. We pushed each other and to make each other better because I see potential in them just like they see potential in me, and overall we just wanted to win. Uh, they like we constantly preached that in the locker room, and yeah, I really love playing with them.
I'm sure you guys have played some form one-on-one before, but if we were to line you guys all up right now, play king of the court between you three, what's the rankings going to be? Who's gonna win the game? Who's second? Who's third?
Obviously, I'm gonna pick myself first. With the other two, it's gonna go either way.
Mhm.
To be honest, they're both great players.
Now the whole roster, and we'll talk about that right now in a second, but overall, you guys had a lot of depth all over the place. We saw injuries continue to happen this past year and your freshman year there. But you guys kept being able to win. You guys still kept having over 500 your first year. This past year, you guys still went well over 500, one of the top teams in the country record-wise. How are you guys able to always kind of have the next man up mentality?
That started 2 years ago.
Mhm.
When Nick Norton went out, and then DJ went out in the playoffs. Nick McGlynn went out in the playoffs.
Mhm.
So they were ready for it. It was always the next man up because you never know what could happen. So this year when it happened, when Roman went out and Tank went out, a lot of people really rose to the occasion. Garrett Sturts, DJ, Tramel, and Brody, they all rose to the occasion and knew we had to pick our brothers up. So we were I don't want to say prepared, but we were prepared because anything was possible. Anybody could go out with COVID, so the whole team had to stay prepared.
There was one game though that freshman year where we kind of saw what could come from you down the line. You ultimately prevailed and showed that this past year. But against Simpson, you had 16 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Walk us through that game and really what it was like performing at that level in that game.
Um, I just went out and played hard. I knew I had to play with confidence, play hard, and just hoop. That game, coach, he wanted me to do that. He pushed me to do that, and that's what I did. He trusted me overall. That game, I just felt like I had it going, and I brought my teammates with me. So it really, I got a little glimpse of what it meant to be a leader and a point guard.
Quarantine comes into play. We know COVID sets in, and you guys are going to be in lockdown then. We don't know at the time how long it's going to be, but you know it's for the foreseeable future. What was your work ethic like the past summer? Like, what were you really keen in on? What do you want to work on that ultimately prepared you for your sophomore campaign?
Um, I really focused on my conditioning.
Mhm.
Uh, I was um, I was on running the hills. I was in the sand doing sand workouts with my trainer, Nicholas Winchell. He I really like it was just running because I knew that was the game.
Mhm.
A lot of people like fourth you got to have fourth quarter mindset. So I knew that I had to get in shape because I didn't want fatigue to determine whether we won a game or lost a game. So I focused on that and my shooting. Shooting has been like a problem for me. Um, I feel like I could shoot, but it wasn't like knocked down every time. So I focused on that and also my handle and my reads. Since being a point guard, I had to see everything, get everybody involved the game.
We discussed the next minute mentality, and you never want someone to get hurt, obviously. That's never something anyone wants, especially for a teammate. But for you, it obviously was a blessing in disguise. It gave you an opportunity to walk in or starting lineup and you know going off that time. We see how special you turned into, averaging 23 points per game in those 9 games starting for yourself. When you get that job, though, and coach said, all right, we need you to step up. You're going to be the guy now you're starting. What's switching your mind? Like, what allowed you to take over and produce at that level?
The confidence that everybody had in me.
Mhm.
They look towards me to lead the team um, to the tournament. Um, it all started with that. I knew that I had to step up a lot. Feel Rose shoes, feel Tank shoes. I just am very grateful that I got the confidence and from the team because they believed in me, and in turn that made me play a lot better. and step up to the occasion.
Did you think you're capable of averaging 23 points per game? Because you're debatably the hottest player this past month and getting ready for the tournament, and then obviously the first two games in the NCAA tournament. Did you think you're capable of averaging 23?
I know it was capable,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I would. It wasn't the time yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, our whole goal was to make it to the tournament, even if we're all averaging 8 points. Like honestly, I just wanted to win. And if that meant averaging 10 points or 8 points or 23, my ultimate goal was to win because we really wanted to go to the tournament.
I have to ask about one team though, Evansville. Obviously, it's a solid team, but something about you really wanted to go off on them. Back-to-back nights. One night you say your career high, 32 points, exceptional game. Then you come back at them the next night, you get another win, but this time you get 36 points, a new career high. What got into you, and why were you able to go dominate Evansville like that?
I To be honest, I was just hot. I was just feeling it those two games. Obviously, I had support from my teammates to keep shooting because they fed me that game. Um, and then when Ro got hurt, I knew I really had to step up big because we wanted to go to the tournament and we couldn't afford to lose any games. So I feel like I kind of put the team on my back, and they allowed me to. So I'm grateful.
The reason you guys really gained a lot of national momentum and also got the playing game was because you guys started off insanely hot this year. 18 straight games to start the year off. That's not an easy task because we know as the games go on, you guys start looking at the streak. You guys know it's right there. You guys know you guys are at 15, 16, 17, 18. How was the locker room handling dealing with kind of the pressure, getting the national attention? Like, what was that like just embracing the undefeated streak to start the year?
We loved it. We relished it. We knew it was constantly going to be a target on our backs every night because everybody wanted to hand us our first loss.
Mhm.
So, eventually we lost to Valpo, and I feel like we definitely needed that loss because it caused us to refocus on the prize, and it caused us to keep on wanting to get better because we knew that we needed to in order to get to the tournament.
I can imagine the locker room though. I mean, when you're talking about getting up to double digits even, you just any kind of win streak is always a positive. But are you guys all kind of counting that up? You guys all talking about it? Like, what was the locker room talk when you're looking at the record? Continue to go up game after game.
We just got to keep going.
Hmm.
We can't just stop here. We can't just stop at 8-0 or 10-0 or 12-0. We know we just had to keep pushing and prove everybody wrong. And we all just had a chip on our shoulders from the beginning of the season to the end of the season.
You get that job where you ultimately wanted the team goal of getting to the NCAA tournament. It is a playing game at first, because you have to go up against Wichita State, and you have a big time dunk that game. Take us through that play and all how that got set up, and then ultimately the play that got featured all over the place and that posterizing dunk you had.
So of course, Mel tipped it away, which I personally feel like it was a foul. I kind of fouled him a little bit, but he got away with it. So he tipped it away. I got the ball. So I initially wanted to go for the dunk anyway, but I just saw him coming, so I was like, okay, let me try it. So when I actually did it, I initially thought I missed until I heard everybody cheering. So it was a very special moment for me.
You guys did reach the ultimate goal. I mean, you guys wanted to win the championship. That's probably the ultimate goal. But I said earlier, you just want to make the tournament. It's everyone's initial dream. What was it like knowing that you guys accomplished that?
Um, it was very special to us. I We hated that it ended in two games, but now we know. Now we tasted it. Now we know we have to work even harder to get to the champ to win the championship. We're not just we knew that we shouldn't just be settling for just making the tournament because we know we're a tournament team now. Now is where we're gonna win the championship. We're gonna keep progressing as a team. So
Following the year, then you end up putting your name in the transfer portal, and right away it's a hot name. Everyone says, okay, we see how this guy just played. Like I said, 23 points per game to end the year as a starter. You have the big post shot dunk. You're on Drake. Like you have all this hype behind you. What went into the decision? Like, why did you decide to put your name in the portal and obviously decide on KU?
um my decision to enter my name portal, it was kind of I felt like it was time.
Hmm.
Um I just wanna I just want to keep getting better. I just want to keep also be a better person. Feel like I honestly just thought it was time to leave, and then um, obviously I had a lot of schools looking at me, but the reason Kansas stuck out to me is because of Coach Self. He really really sold the program. I also wanted to be part of the program. I wanted to bring back winning.
Mhm.
They haven't won a championship since 2008, around there. So I wanted to join the family and also be a focal point in them winning the national championship. So
When you're going through that process, was there a number two option for you? Like, was there a number two that if KU wasn't a factor, that school probably would have been your number two option?
it was between USC and Georgia.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. And I loved both Coach Enfield from USC and Coach Crean from Georgia. They're really, really great dudes and they have a wonderful program.
Well, let's get into this KU a little bit more because, as I said, you're the next Jayhawk. And this past year, it was kind of an up and down year. I mean, they still made the tournament, still a top team, still advanced around. It was not a horrible year, but we know it wasn't KU standards. It wasn't making a Final Four, a championship type of year team. How do you plan to go in there and establish yourself as that lead guard and potentially bring them to the promised land?
Just work. The work doesn't stop. I had a good year this year, but it's not nearly as good as I wanted it to be. Um, I just want to be there and just have that energy the have bring that leadership to that team. Um, I just want to make guys better, ultimately make our team better. Um, I just want to have a different energy, a different aura to bring to the team.
I can imagine one big attraction for you was the point guard play. This past year was really rough for KU, but the history of point guards for Bill Self has been incredible. Obviously, we know Devontae Graham. We know Devon Dotson, Frank Mason, Elijah Johnson, Tyshawn Taylor, Mario Chalmers. Like the list goes on of these elite, prestigious guards that Self's been able to coach up. How do you plan to become the next guy? What's it going to be like embracing that point guard role and potentially becoming the next all-time great KU point guard?
Obviously, I have big shoes to fill. Those guys eventually, a lot of them eventually went to the NBA. But I know that I believe in myself. I believe I can become that type of player for KU. Um, a lot of people compare me to Sharon Collins um, because obviously we're both from Chicago, and it was just his grit. He wanted to win. I saw that from the start. Watched a lot of tape on him. He really wanted to win, and I want to bring that grit to that team because all it came down to, I feel like, was grit with all those guys. They really wanted to be better, and they really wanted to win, and I feel like that's how I am as well.
You walk into this team where obviously we'll see who all comes out. We know the portal's still going crazy. Guys could unexpectedly leave or come in. We don't know what's going to look like. But how do you plan to be able to go in there and kind of earn the respect and become a leader when there's already a lot of guys already established in that environment?
Just work. That's all it comes down to. I know I have a lot of expectations going in there.
Mhm.
Um, I just gotta keep working and show them that I I want to be that leader for you guys and build that trust. I feel like that's what a lot of teams are missing. They got to trust each other, and that's what I look to gain from them. I know I have to earn it, but I feel like I will.
We do know that eventually the open night's going to come. And as expected, there should be sold out fans. Hopefully, this whole COVID thing's done with. So you're going to be in front of a packed down field house. But you walk into that locker room, you see your name on that jersey, the school that you dreamed of playing at when you're younger. You put that on, you get to walk around for now in field house. Walk us through what's going to go through your mind that night.
It's time to show the world what I've been doing the past few years. Obviously it's gonna be an unreal moment for me, but that like the first words that come to my head is it's time. Um, I know there's gonna be a lot of expectations for me, and I feel like I will step up to the plate.
We do know that Coach Self is an incredible coach, obviously already a Hall of Fame coach, but a lot of people, when they get to that status, they're that great, people just start looking at them just as a coach. But you guys seem now kind of see his personal side. You guys see what he's like off the court. So explain that a little bit. Like, what's Coach Self like off the court?
I mean, it's hilarious. Um, when I hopped on a Zoom call with him, he was well, I was just laughing the whole time. He brought great energy, and I could just tell he was a great person too. So
Were you shocked by that at all, or did you expect him to be a little funny, or did he kind of shock you at how funny he was?
he shocked me with the energy he had. As soon as we joined, he was like he had me laughing within like the first like 10 seconds. He like yeah, he's something else.
Have you been able to talk to anyone else on the team yet? Have you reached out to anyone? Have they reached out to you? And if so, who are some of those guys you've talked to within the program?
I've talked to Dewan Harris. I talked to Ochai, and I talked to a recruit, incoming freshman, Bobby Pettiford. So yeah, they reached out and said that they happy that I'm part of the fam, and likewise.
Now, you personally aren't from there, but your family background is from Nigeria. And there's a lot of correlation with that. There's been quite a few KU guys that have come from there, at least the family has come from there. Was that any kind of connection? And did you realize that at first, or that's something that you just kind of saw from a lot of other KU media people?
I knew it.
Mhm.
Um, Ochai, Ochai is from Nigeria, and I feel like it's going to be instant connection. Um, I could tell that when I was talking to him, he was a great person. But like that didn't really play a role. And while like obviously I thought about it, but that didn't really play like role in me deciding to commit to KU.
Sidetracking a little bit, when you look at that, obviously we know that there's a potential of being able to go out there, represent the country down the road, and be able to represent your national team because of your family being from there. Is that something you ever explore? Will you look at possibly representing your national team for the Olympic stage or FIBA down the road?
Um, I still haven't decided. I might. Um, I still have to think about it. Obviously, I want to represent the country because my dad is from there, and my mom is from St. Louis. So it's that I'm definitely gonna think hard about it because that's something I want to do, but it all depends.
In the Big 12, though, you're going to go up against top teams day in, day out. We know the list of teams you're going to be playing against next year. Is there one team specific that you're super excited to go up against?
The national champions, Baylor, they're on the throne now, so we're looking to knock them off.
We know that that long streak of the Big 12 championship was snapped a little bit ago, and obviously Baylor got it back again this year. But when you talk about going out there, and like you said, it's kind of a rivalry. I mean, KU still by far the supreme team in the Big 12, but when you look at kind of a forming a rivalry of two elite teams now, what's the environment going to be like when those two teams do match up, though?
It's gonna be crazy. I haven't experienced the KU crowd before, but I've heard and I've seen that it's really a fun environment, a very exciting environment, and I just can't wait to be part of it with the team.
You have decided you're going to wear number one next year. Why is that the number you want to rock out with?
Derrick Rose, he's my favorite player, and just the adversity he has faced throughout his career. Obviously, he tore his ACL, towards meniscus multiple times just with injuries, but he just found a way to persevere, and he's still making a lot of noise in the league. And that's someone who I want to be like, reach the league.
When you did talk with Coach Self, like what was the kind of game plan for you? You walk in this upcoming year, does he expect you to be the starter, or is he just going to say you have to work for it, but you have a good chance at it? And if so, like also, what's the kind of role he wants you to play in this upcoming year?
He said I had to work for it. Nothing comes easy in life. He's not just gonna hand it to me, and I know that. But he's looking for me to be like that point guard that gets everybody involved. Also being able to create for myself and being that leader. A lot of teams lack leadership or don't have really a good leadership, and he's looking for me to provide that and bring a different type of energy to the team.
Absolutely, man. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One of which is discussing building a legacy for yourself. That's something I know that all guys ultimately want to build for themselves. So when you do step away from this game someday, What do you ultimately want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
I just want to be known for being a great person. A lot of people know I can, hoop and all that, but I ultimately want to be known as, a caring person. A lot of athletes, are not like that, but I just want to be a person that everybody could look up to and strive to be like. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to be like somebody, and I just want to be known for being that person.
Also, I know you are a believer. Walk us through your faith a little bit. How have you seen God help get you to the point you're at today?
Um, so obviously I've been a believer for my whole life. I'm a Christian, uh, but like I feel like I would didn't really I had that connection, but I didn't really use it when I was younger. But it all started with my adversity last year. That's why I said like I needed it. Um, Obviously it was a very tough situation for me. I was going through a lot of stuff, but I started watching church a lot, going to church, even though I already went. I started doing that like on my own, um, and started praying a lot, and then I it just got to a point where I was just like everything's gonna be okay, and that God got me. And it took me a while to realize that. My mom always told me that I was anointed, but I just didn't really see that growing up. So I really started, getting that connection with God last year. Um, and I'm just very grateful for everything that He's done for me. I know He's not done. I know I'm going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And there's still a lot of work that I need to do with my faith. Obviously, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm very grateful and blessed for what He's done for me. Um, I just want to continue to spread His word. That's why I'm constantly um, reposting my pastor stuff because I want the world to know that there is a God and that um, what He's done for me. So He's been a huge part of my life and my success. He's been not just a huge part. He's been the reason for everything.
And that's something that's so huge because I know a lot of people that aren't believers might not understand that, but like you said, you were down your some of your worst times, you'd say, obviously. You're down with injuries, you're not doing what you also want to do at that moment. But that's when you truly find your faith. That's when you see God come into play. How are you able to have God kind of come into you? And like how are you open during that time? Because when sometimes when guys are down themselves, they might be closed, they don't really look to God, they might kind of walk away from him. How are you able to kind of come closer to God during that time?
Um, to be honest, I can't even tell you how. Um, I just knew that like I I needed somebody because not a lot of people like no one understood, and it just caused me to like know what I'm gonna get close to God and see where this takes me. And obviously, it's been for the best. I'm con- gonna continue to grow in my faith, but um, when you ask how, it's just like it just happened. My mom also told me to start praying more because that's not something I did a lot. I mean, I did, but it wasn't where it needed to be. So my mom played a huge role in that. Um, and I'm just grateful that she's been in my ear about it even since I was younger. She's constantly, be not be me it into me, but like she constantly harped on it, and I'm just very grateful that she did because I wouldn't be in that position that I am today.
You also have something pinned in your Twitter. You say representing Christ through basketball. Take us through that and how you do that.
Represent. I'm not when I play basketball. My like even when I'm playing bad, like I know at the end of the day, I'm trying to represent him, play through him, play for him. Um, I'm trying to just spread his word however I can, and that's the mindset I go in. That's why like when I'm not playing well, it does not it phases me, but it doesn't phase me to that extent because I know at the end of the day what I'm on this earth for. It's not just it's bigger than basketball, and that's what that quote means. It's bigger than basketball. And God put me on this earth to spread His word ultimately. So if that's through basketball or another sport, that's what I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue to do what He wants me to do.
Amen, man. You also did mention too that you're not done yet. You still have a lot more to grow in your faith. There's still a lot more you want to do for His kingdom. What are some things that you have an idea of? Like, is it after basketball, like during it? Like, is it something you want to go mission wise, help within the country? Like, is there something that you really are kind of led to that you feel like you want to help out in? If there is something you've even been kind of led towards?
I want to do a lot of philanthropy. I want to give back to people who are not as fortunate as I am, because you don't know people's circumstance. You don't know what they go through on a daily basis. Now, I'm blessed enough to that my parents didn't put me through that situation. So me giving back to others, I feel like that'll really open it up where it'll cause them when they eventually start making it out of their that they could do that as well. And I want that to become toxic. I want that to spread. I also want to, like, aside from philanthropy, I want to spread the word, whether it's um, doing certain acts or just preaching the word. I just want to do whatever God wants me to do to make this world a better place.
That's awesome, man. Well, final thing for you, give KU fans your three biggest goals you have set for your 3 years there.
Um, uh, National championship, of course. Um, uh, Making the team better than what the 2018, and also just building that winning culture again, since they haven't won. And I won't say a while, but it's been years. So we want to be that team that start that tradition again.
Without a doubt, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. Congrats on the commitment again, man. And I look forward to see what God got next for you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course, also come on, man. God bless.
Yes, sir. God bless you too.